I'm about to break down Fibonacci to you in 10 minutes. This is going to be the most simple video you can watch on how to actually trade Fibonacci without all the jargon. We're just getting straight to the point, guys. So, daily. I don't want to draw a Fibonacci on the daily. Don't know about you guys, but I don't want to do that. So, we're going to skip all the way down to the 4 hour. So 9 times out of 10, when I start my analysis, I'm going to start on the monthly, work my way down to the weekly, and then to the daily. But in the case of Fibonacci, we don't want Fibonacci on there. All we want on those charts are our support and resistance. So when we get down to our 4 hour, that's when we can start really looking at Fibonacci. So the first thing we need to work out with Fibonacci is our directional bias. So obviously we're going to look at the daily for that. So we can see that we are still bullish. We make higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Making a higher high, higher low. We're still pretty much in an uptrend, although a little bit of consolidation. But I'm going to say we're in an uptrend. We've had this level of support retested, forming what I would say is a inverse head and shoulder. So that for me tells me we're bullish. So I'm going to go down to the 4 hour. And I'm just going to show you some of the Fibonacci moves that have actually happened from this key level and monthly support. So if we come down, I'm just going to zoom in so you guys can see a lot closer. So when we're looking at Fibonacci, obviously we are looking for the trend, as I just mentioned. So from here, we can see price has come down and we have come to a really heavy level of support. So let me just zoom back out. So I'm going to step down to the 1 hour. And now this is what we're looking at for basically our reversal. So we've got our monthly support level, and then we can see that we're trying to make a push to the upside. But this is where you have to be patient. So you will first get your initial fib move, and that is your confirmation that price is probably reversing. We can also look to the left and we can see that over here, this level of resistance here that I'm just going to color in red just so you can see, this level of resistance here has now been broken through this candle up here. So this has broken out of that resistance. We've then come back down and we've kind of just played around a little bit here. And then we've had another push to the upside. So this push here, this is even further confirmation for me to say, yeah, I want to get in this trade. And we've also broken above this resistance just above that last one. So what I'm looking for from there is for price to come back down and retest that. Now, where can we get an entry? Why do we know that we can see price coming down? Where can price be coming to? So all we need to do is get our Fibonacci tool and we're going to draw it from the last pullback. So from the last, in this instant, the last higher low. So this here, I believe this was a gap on market open, but nonetheless it formed a low. And then I'm going to drag it to the top of this here before we start retracing down. So in terms of Fibonacci, this is our A. So our starting point is always our A. Our second point is our B. And then our retracement that we're looking for, which is where we want to enter our trade, is the C point. And then the extension, that is your D. So your C is going to be your entry and your D is going to be your exit. So again, A, B, C pullback to perfectly our 61.8% level. And then boom, we could have got a great trade. You could have got in here up to there. The one thing I will mention is you want to be also patient around that point. So when we come to here, so 9 times out of 10, you want to be looking at this on a 5 or 15 minute. If you would like to get an even better entry and you are comfortable, I say comfortable, and I mean if you are like a seasoned trader, I don't want any new traders to be doing this. But if you're a seasoned trader, then you can go down to the 1 minute chart and you can get an entry from there. It is very easy to get entries from the 1 minute using this strategy. So we can see closer that we've got our A here, our B here, and then our 61.8% retracement. So here we are on the 15 minute, you can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rejections from that level, which tells us this is a super strong level of support. We've had the initial breakout and then we've come back down, came back to retest this level of support, and then we've broken up again. So we could have easily held that trade over, we could have entered on Tuesday, and we could have been out by, where's the first one? On Thursday. So Thursday evening, you could have had your TP here, and while you were asleep, that would have got tagged out for you. Or you could have held to make these higher highs. But in this instance, we would say that the first extension level would be our exit. So just to go further, and this is going more into what I'm looking at, but I want you guys to understand the patience that you have to wait for when price comes to these levels. So these levels are premeditated. As soon as we can see price retracing and coming back to make that higher low, we want to get in, find that retracement to get in and make that higher high. But you have to have the patience required and see what is actually going on at that level. So if I come back all the way across here, we can again see just closer on the 5 minute what is really happening at this level. Now, for anyone who knows me, you guys know I love patterns. So support and resistance, Fibonacci, candlestick patterns and candlestick formations. That is my strategy. That is my bread and butter. So straight away here, extra confluence for me, I can see that we have this somewhat of an inverse head and shoulder formation. So inverse head and shoulder formation is literally, you've got a left shoulder here. You then have a head, which is usually one, but sometimes it can be pretty much a double bottom, which again is another candlestick formation or candlestick pattern. So we've got that double bottomed head, and then we've also got this right shoulder here, which was a wick down, and that was basically our catapult to get into this move. So that is a really, really, really simple way for you guys to use Fibonacci. I think that was quicker than 10 minutes. But yeah, Fibonacci is super easy when you know how to use it. I think we may have another example here. I don't want to say too soon though, because we have just had CPI. So price is a little bit questionable here. But yeah, this could be another example. As long as this 15-minute candle can close above this 78.6, you can see that on the 5 minute we have dipped below. But again, this has kind of formed a what I would call a morning star formation. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Just zoom in a little bit. We've got candle 1, 2, and 3, and that is a Morningstar formation. So as you can see, that candle is now pushing up on the 5 minute. So awaiting the 15-minute close, as long as that is above, that should also form somewhat of a Morningstar formation. So when you are using Fibonacci, guys, you do want to pair it with the support and the resistance, the candlestick patterns. You want to build the whole picture, and Fibonacci needs to be just that extra confluence for you in getting in your trade. So yeah, that is Fibonacci in less than 10 minutes. I will be making some more detailed videos around Fibonacci, and I'll show you like my settings and just using it on a more advanced basis. But this is really, really simple Fibonacci 101. And yeah. So if you enjoyed watching, guys, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I will be dropping a lot more of these videos. So yeah, get involved, guys, and thank you.